You just got the ordinary rope on it.
Hey?
You just got the ordinary rope.
That is a winter prawn.
It's a big one, isn't it?
Well, we didn't hit the nail on the head, but if that's any indication, they're fighting me, they're that big. We didn't nail them, but that's any indication of the prawns that we're going to get today. Oh, look out. First one, it is 21 centimetres. That's a good prawn. Have a go back. Well guys, by now you've probably joined the dots for what's happening in this episode. I'm out on a prawning mission with the Phantom. Now, while we've done plenty of prawning videos in the past, what makes this one so special is the fact that we're catching them in the middle of winter. This year's season has run months longer than any other, so we thought we'd treat ourselves to a feed. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you watch until the end for an epic cook-up. Let's go prawning.
Straight here, straight here. On that net close down, which will be right over. Put another net out if you want.
Hey, it's a better one. There you go. It's a good little cast. Some solid nannies in there. Nice.
Other net.
Oh yeah. Here you go. That's what we're looking for here, guys. There's prawns on the bottom. That's what we want. All that through there, all prawns. Show me the money. Sitting hard on the bottom, aren't they? Oh, that's not too bad.
Nice one.
Not a bucket filler, but definitely on the way. There we go. Not getting huge casts in, but good consistent, probably 10 or 15 prawns in there. They're all real solid. Look at the size of that. And when the prawns are this big, oh nice one Tez. Prawns are that big, you start filling up your bucket pretty damn quick. Oh yeah, they're still below us there.
Few starting to come in now. They're coming up all right. But geez, I love the size. Look at them. Whew. Look at that. Away.
Shipping. Not as many. They're still big. Hey? Whereabouts? Prawns.
Precious with the grass down
Yeah. There we go. That's a bit better. Hope we doubled up. Yes. Another alright one. All good prawns. And another one. That's a nice one. That's better.
Yep. Oh, don't do that. Bit of prawny bycatch. It's probably a legal flatty.
You would be.
Hey?
That's right back.
And the call from the driver's chair is flathead for lunch. Give him one last chance to prove his innocence. Oh, he's close. Oh, he's only just 40, he can go. A couple of nice prawns there too. Edging our way towards the bucket, slowly.
Oh, you won't be able to pull that one in.
Got a few there.
Have
Yep. Another nice one. Hey? Hey, been well worth the exercise.
There's a few. That was a decent throw for both of us that time. Woo. Let's get into it.
A few more of those. That's what we need. Right. Can't right now.
Any? Two.
That's better. There's a good haul. It's probably the best one of the day so far.
Oh, look at that come up on my net. A hairtail. They get much bigger than that. But I don't know. What do you reckon, Sam? A few 7-0s?
Mirror ball.
Troll him around the roof. Look at that. Flash, flash, flash. It's got to be a mackerel lolly.
Hmm. Couple of nice ones.
Well guys, that was a pretty good morning session. Unfortunately we couldn't hang around all morning. We do have some things we've got to do, but we've got a solid bucket of prawns there. Get your camera in there, Ted. And the best part about it,
Escapee.
and the best part about it is the size. These guys, for winter, well, winter prawns are unheard of in the first place, but these are massive. Not dissimilar to the nudgy prawns you guys would have seen me catch earlier in the season. There are some absolute snodgers here. And I think with a bucket of top quality prawns like that, it's only one thing to do, and that's a bit of a cook up. So if you like eating seafood, stay tuned. A cook up I promised you, and a cook up you're about to get. But first, as per tradition, we always start our cooking segments with a little cheeky beer. If you're watching with one, cheers to you guys. Let's get cracking. Now the recipe we're going to be tackling today is for oven roasted prawns, and I love this one for a few different reasons. The first one is there's bugger all ingredients. The second one, it's really simple to do and the end result is super fancy. And the third one is because it requires minimal prep work for your prawns. Now if I've just been out prawning all day, the last thing I want to do is sit there and peel all these prawns just so my guests can enjoy them. Bugger that, I've already done the hard work. I reckon they should get their hands dirty. Now the other reason is, if you're going to be out there catching some big snodger prawns like these guys, and I mean like have a go at that, you kind of need to flex on your guests and put them out there whole just so they can see how good of a prawner you actually are. Now you can do this recipe with any amount of prawns. I've got about 1.5 kilos here. It just depends how many you're catering for. And the only prep work you have to do beforehand is see the antennas, get a pair of scissors and just clip them off. And that's it. Prawns are ready to go. Now you're going to need yourself a big bowl such as this. Not great for you guys to see because it's not see-through, but prawns in there. Now to the bowl you want to add some continental parsley, chopped nice and fine, like so. Now again, you just go by the vibe, that should do it. Some lime slices. Now the oil, I go for this stuff here, and it seems to work a treat. Give yourself a nice big drink of that. Now season the whole lot with a few good pinches of sea salt and some cracked pepper. Grab yourself a big old spoon and mix it all around. Make sure the prawns get a nice coating of that oil and your parsley. I should have mentioned too, save some of your parsley, don't use all of it because you're going to need some at the end. And if you think you can do this with coriander, you're wrong. And these guys are ready to go in the oven. So put them into a pan. I like to chuck my lime pieces. Make sure there's a few on top just so that flavour sinks down. And this guy is ready for the oven. Now if you're having a crack at home and yours looks something like that before it goes in the oven, well, I think you're on the right track. Now that oven is preheated to 220 degrees, handle off, in it goes. Now the whole cooking process should take between 15 and 20 minutes depending on how many and how big your prawns are. I expect those ones to go for about 17, 18 minutes. Now set an alarm for about 10 minutes in and have a look. If they're starting to go pink, give them a big toss through, give them a flip over and make sure all the prawns are getting equal amount of time in the heat and all cooking through thoroughly. Now in the meantime, don't just sit there and drink all the beers. Finally chop up some dill like I've done here. This is going to be for the final garnish. Grab yourself a crusty roll, cut that into little sections and butter it up, and grab yourself something to put some garlic aioli in for the dipping. Make sure you've got an extra lime handy, cut some wedges to squeeze on at the end. Okay, that's 10 minutes in. Let's give them a bit of a flippy aroundy. See here, some are cooked and some aren't. That's what the purpose of the flip is. Make sure your limes don't end up on the bottom though. Back in she goes. I reckon that is time. Thanks for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a big win. We've had a big win. This looks and smells amazing. Now you try and tell me that you'd be disappointed if you saw a plate of that come out at someone's place. That looks unreal. Now time to add the finishing touches. Just Salt Bay, a little bit more of that leftover parsley on there. Same deal with some dill. Give it a bit of colour and go as hard as you want with the limes. Just a little squeeze, just to give it a bit of freshness, a bit of zing. Will go a long way, but obviously to taste is fine. And like I said, we're going to be dipping this bit of aioli in a bowl. And that is a meal fit for a king. And if you didn't notice in the background, I've got my roll cut up, crusty roll, buttered nicely. And I'm just gonna give this 2 seconds to cool down so I don't burn myself on camera for like the 50th time. Now let's talk about presentation real quick. I'm a big fan of serving this up in the pan. One, it's less work, less dirty plates. And two, if you're really fast at peeling and eating prawns like I am, you can get away with eating a heap more than everyone else. If you've got them all in a plate, then you've got to serve them out evenly in a big bowl. smash into them and no one can get up you. Now the bread rolls there for dipping in what's underneath the prawns in the pan juices. It's beautiful, prawny, oily deliciousness. Bit of lime in there as well. It's really, really nice. Now I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Where's a big one? There's a big one. Oh, they're still pretty hot, but that's all right. Now, I always say these are a taste test, but I already know how it's going to turn out, so it's a bit of an unfair thing. Thanks for coming, guys. For a winter prawning session, I think we've done all right. Bon appetit. That is absolutely delicious. I don't need to lie to you about that one. It's fantastic. One thing you will notice is there's a bit of a different flavour to the prawns, obviously being oven roasted, but cooked whole. You've got all that prawny goodness in the shell and the head that permeates through the flesh, and it's very, very tasty. One of my chef mates, Julian, who lives next door, he's always been a big advocate for cooking prawns whole because you get a whole heap more flavour in there, and I can definitely vouch for it using this recipe. Guys, that is one to add to your list. It's a must try. It's easy. There's no excuses not to do it. Now, I've got a date with a pan full of prawns and a few more beers, so I think we might wrap up the episode here. Guys, if you'd like any more information on the Wilson Procast nets, you can find it all and plenty more on their website, wilsonfishing.com. Now, from the Sammy Hitzke stables, there is plenty of new gear up on the website, sammyhitzkefishing.com. We've got hoodies, we've got deep drop rigs, we've got hats, stickers, shirts, all that fancy stuff. Make sure you head over there and check it out. Guys, hope you enjoyed the episode, and make sure you let me know if you give this recipe a crack, because I give it 2 big thumbs up. That is all for me this week. Hope you're getting out there and giving it a crack yourself, and I'll catch you next week for another Sammy Hitzke fishing adventure. Cheers.